All right, gang, the ranking is done. I've got 52 fragrances here for you, ranked from all of the fragrances I discussed in the 3 lists I did for you guys. 2 lists this week, and a couple weeks ago I did a ranked designer men's fragrances list, and I've pulled from all of those fragrances, and I've added one feminine fragrance to the list within the list, and I'm ranking this from 52 on down to 1. Let's get started. Before I do though, go catch those videos if you want to watch and find out about all of the releases I got my nose on and what I think about them. I'm actually going to add it as a playlist here so you can catch those videos, and then also you can catch this video after you watch those. But if you just want to watch this, let's get started. So I wanted to make sure this is included on the list. So this is at number 52. This is Bleu de Chanel from Chanel, the exclusive version. Still, those of you that were complaining about me not happy with this, I was pretty happy with the smell. I just wasn't happy with the price. It's a ambery take on the original Bleu de Chanel. Is it an exciting fragrance? I don't know, not for me. Is it quality? It's pretty decent quality. It's overpriced, absolutely. It's $300, almost like $297 or $98 with sales tax. So it's quite pricey there, and that's why it's not something I would rush out to get if I were you. I always get them because I want to talk about them on the channel. So I paid full retail for this. I didn't even get the sale price that they told me I can come back and, get a refund on the difference. But in the end, I like it. I don't love it. That's why it's also ranked here at the bottom. But I wanted to talk about it as a pretty solid offering as far as smell goes. Disappointing offering as far as price goes. But I don't know. I'm going back and forth with how much I love it and I do not love it. I think the Chanel Bleu de Chanel DNA is a fresh DNA. So combining it with amber and resins and slight smoky touches, maybe even perhaps leatheriness, is it really working? The last time I spoke about it, I liked it more than what I'm getting now. So it's kind of a love it, hated kind of a situation with this. I'm not 100% sold on it. And today also, as far as smell goes, it's not wowing me like it did the last time. So my nose is reacting all over the place with this one. I personally don't think the Chanel Bleu de Chanel DNA meshes really well with resins and amber, but then that's just me. But we are putting it here at number 52. Out of maybe like 4 or 5 men's designer fragrances here. I wanted to include this as well. This is Balenciaga's Le Dix 2025 edition at number 51. I actually bought 2 of the fragrances from Balenciaga. And since this is this version is very modern, but the original was such a loved classic that I do enjoy this one for sure. As a smell, it's powdery, it's iris, it's dusty, it's dry, maybe a bit musky, and also vegetal. And it's definitely pretty solid. It's not the same. It's not the same as the original, obviously, but it's a reinterpretation. And actually, the bottle is just super awesome. I really, really love the presentation. And even the boxes and everything that these come in. I have several vintage Balenciaga fragrances. The packaging kind of looks like an updated vintage package. So everything that they've done to redo how Balenciaga fragrances used to be, it has been done here, but in a much more modern way, but also kind of paying tribute to what they used to do as far as fragrances go. And the bottles, oh man, so beautiful. Great presentation. Anyway, that's Balenciaga's Le Dix 2025 edition at number 50. I'm sorry, number 51. At number 50, I think my list is going to be off now. Yes, it's going to be off now. But the next fragrance is Commodities Iced. So Commodities Iced is number 50 because we started at 52. So I put this at the very bottom of the list. Originally, it was going to be a 50 list, obviously. But I decided to put this at the bottom because, I decided to feature the other two because I wanted to talk about them in this list. And so now we're starting the original list here. And Commodities Iced is a really ice-cold experience, very aromatic, crisp, green, and herbal. And I think they did a pretty solid job here. You pick up the green mango, maybe it's mango skin, slightly fruity, but it meshes really nicely with the mint that's in here. But it's like on ice or something, like frozen, like you've taken it out, you froze like mango skin, green, and mint together. So it's a very ice-cold experience. I like it. I think this is going to be perfect in the heat. In fact, I sampled it in the south of France in September. It wasn't super hot this last year, but in the heat, I think this is going to shine because it's got that ice-cold quality. And when you want that subconsciously, you can get that from here wearing something super iced. I'm only experienced with the expressive version because these do come in 3 variations. The skin scent one, which is personal. This is the expressive, which is in the middle. Then there's the bold. I'm only talking about the expressive version here. So it's iced at number 50. And then at number 49, we've got, this is Never and Again's Festival. So I actually have 2 fragrances from this house on this list. This one, I shot a video with the brand owner, which you'll see sooner than later. I actually sampled the fragrances from this house. I think they have 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. No, it's either 6 or 5, 7. I'm losing track because I'm keeping track of so many fragrances. This has gotten actually a lot more gorgeous as it's progressing in the bottle. So it seems heftier. It's a vetiver focused fragrance, but it's super dusty and dry. And when you smell this, you smell gray. I think if you ever, like if you're smelling fragrances, do you ever smell in color and texture? When you smell this, you smell gray. It's gray, it's cold, it's powdery, it's dusty, foggy. And it's inspired by like a music festival. And of course, I think between acts, and, I've gone to many live shows and you're waiting for the next act. There's a coolness in the air conditioned, and then the fog that comes in near the stage. It gives me those kind of vibes. But it's super awesome. It's super dry and dusty and powdery. And, of course, gray. It's vetiver and various other notes. I think there's something interesting in the bottom as well that I didn't smell before when I sampled it. But I'm picking up now as it's been sitting in the bottle for a good 4 months. In fact, it's gotten even more interesting and more substantial as when I first smelled it. Like when I first smelled it, it was a lot drier and powdery and a little more airy. Here, there's a denseness now, which is smelling really awesome. Which is also something that you guys need to pay attention to. I think this was coming up with a lot of Zara fragrances. People were commenting and saying, oh, you got to wait for Zara to mature and macerate. You got to give it at least, I don't know how long they said, like a month or 2 months, 3 months. It's a lot of time for people to actually buy a fragrance and not use it, But it does really work. This and many other fragrances I know age to smell so awesome. So the thing is, I have another fragrance from that brand on in this video. Didn't experience it with that one as much as I have experience with this one. So it's not on all fragrances. I don't get that, but I do get it from a lot and frequently as well. So that is Festival at 49. Then we've got Le Galion's FOLLE. This is a Julian Rascanet creation. Super clean and icy and very aromatic and spicy. And it's also quite a modern fougere. And the types of notes are like juniper and cypress. So it's very aromatic, spicy, but crisp and clean. And if you're looking for something green and woody and aromatic and spicy, focusing on that juniper-like coldness and crispness, definitely something you should try. It's a very modern take on a fougere, not focusing on lavender-like notes because you don't like, it doesn't come out. Like, I'm not smelling it. They might not have it here, but you know, sometimes in fougere fragrances or the style of fougere fragrances, they might add a little bit, but this is not focusing on it here because you can't smell it at all. But it's a really awesome, classy, masculine, very modern take on a fougere. My door's opening. There's a ghost coming in. I gotta close it. Anyway, that's FOLLE, Le GALION. Sorry about that. Sometimes I forget to close the door all the way, and this is an old building, so they also say it's haunted, which is kind of creepy. But let's move on to the next fragrance. This is MANCERA's Explicit Vanilla. This actually turned out to be a surprise yum fragrance. It was in our mystery box recently, but I'm not liking this because it's super intense bomb. I'm liking it because it's super smooth and personal, like close to the skin. I'm also liking it because it's a perfect fragrance for layering with. If you're looking for something to layer that with, I've tried Amore Cafe, and it's so good with Amore Cafe. This actually also, I mentioned it recently. I did a video, which I haven't aired yet, coming soon, and I was mentioning Après l'Amour No. 4 by Thomas Kosmala, how it reminds me of vanilla powder without the vanilla. So since this is so simplistic and it's more of a linear skin scenty type of fragrance, use Après l'Amour No. 4 from Thomas Kosmala and layer it with this. So you kind of have a little bit of like a vanilla powder-like experience. I haven't done it, but I think the way this works is like that. But it's a kind of a boozy, dry, powdery, very syrupy as well, vanilla. And it's very personal. It's a close skin scent fragrance, but super delicious. There's maybe some light cacao and caramelly touches, or maybe butterscotchy touches that come in as well. But sometimes, you can play mixologist, and if you have fragrances that are super complex, they're not very easy to layer with. But if it's simplistic like this, still, has lingering power, but it's not a loud fragrance. It's got room to play with, and you could do that with fragrances like this. So this is MANCERA's Explicit Vanilla. Let me know what your thoughts are on that if you got to sample it. It was in our mystery box, and that is at number 47. And then at number 46, we've got MAITRE Parfumeure Gantier's Ambre Capucine. This brand does really great amber fragrances, if you guys don't know already. I mean, in fact, they probably have like 5 or 6 amber fragrances. And as I was saying with this fragrance, it's somewhere in the middle of Ambre Mythique and also Ambre Presso. So if you like Ambre Mythique and Ambre Presso, and maybe you layered those two also, you get this kind of. So it's got, Ambre Mythique is more powdery and dry, but super strong and potent. And then, of course, Ambre Presso is more syrupy and balsamic with spices and aromatics. And you've got kind of the best of both worlds here with this fragrance. So it reminds me of both. And I like that, It's very resinous. It's very spicy, aromatic, and very, very balsamic as well. And throughout the fragrance, there's also vanillic touches. But it's a really, really awesome amber fragrance from the house of MAITRE Parfumeure Gantier. So this is Ambre Capucine. So that is at number 46. And then we've got another vanilla from the house of Atelier des Ors. This is NOVAE Vanilla. So yeah, this has grown on me quite a bit, and I like its soft, powdery touches. It's almost like you're taking a very syrupy vanilla and you're drizzling flour in it. I don't know if you guys have ever baked, but this is acting like that because it has mimosa as a note, and it's a very powdery note, and the vanilla is syrupy and kind of drippy, kind of sticky. So the mimosa flower is kind of, making it a combo of dry and syrupy together. But it's super comforting, slightly nutty, a bit minerally, and of course, a very powdery take on vanilla. It's very, very comforting. It's also, it's kind of has similarities to vanilla powder from the house of Matière Première, but this is softer, not as harsh. And I've mentioned in my videos, I was not a big fan of vanilla powder at first. It was so strong to my nose, I couldn't handle it, or my nose couldn't tolerate it. So eventually it's grown on me. But this one, actually, it's got its smoothness. It seems a bit more refined. Yeah, it'll remind you of it, but I don't think it acts like it. So NOVAE Vanilla is at number 45. Then we're going to the House of Mind Games. It's at number 44. It's a KINGSIDE. KINGSIDE is a balsamic amber fragrance that's also super yummy. I think amber, it was the year of amber. This to me is more of a Tonka THOO combo. And THOO is a balsamic note. Sure, it's ambery. And so what I like about this one, it's ambery gourmand created with not much gourmand notes. So there's a caramelly, kind of syrupy, honeyed, ambery effect. And that's coming from the THOO. And then it's added to that with the tonka beans, so slightly nutty and gourmand leaning, but also very smooth and powdery at the same time. So you've got this very delicious kind of a smell where you think it's gourmand, but it's more amber and balsams combined together. It's spicy, very powdery, but still also very smooth and sticky at the same time. And I like my ambers to be sticky or a combination of powdery and sticky at the same time. A big fan of resins, ambers, balsamic notes, vanillic notes. So it has all of these, types of notes combined together to make a very delicious offering. One of my favorite offerings from Mind Games, it's KINGSIDE. So that is at number 44. Then we've got a fragrance from the house of ORTO PARISI. It's RISVELIUM. I'm surprised how good this is also. It's kind of hypnotizing to look at that eye. They don't publish the notes. So for me, it's kind of a combo of grapefruit and cannabis with, it's strong also, very strong. This is chock full of amber woods in the base, and it's a trademark of this brand. In fact, if you're familiar with Mega Mare, the base in that fragrance seems to be here, but up top and the mids are different. So very astringent, bitter, kind of grapefruity citruses, super tart, but bitter at the same time. And then these kind of green camphor bitterness at the same time also, which is more in the heart. And that's what I'm getting here, like a combination of cannabis or something cannabis-like, green and bitter and camphor, and that zing and spice and bitterness and juiciness of the grapefruit that's here as well. So that's RISVELIUM. I don't think this is a conventional freshie, but the fact that it has a lot of citruses, it's perfect for a summer wear. And same thing with Mega Mare. I'm not the biggest fan of it. In fact, it smells better when it's cold outside. When your body heats up, it goes very fishy because it's a marine fragrance. So you can wear that. It's kind of similar base because it's amber woods and really, really heavy amber woods. So you can kind of wear that in the summertime, and there's no problem with wearing this one in the summertime as well. So next we're going to the house of Thomas de Monaco at number 42. It's JADE. Stay tuned for a video I shot of the 3 new fragrances from Thomas de Monaco. This turned out to be my favorite, even though it's the most polarizing of the bunch. What I like about it and I didn't mention this in the video I shot of the 3 fragrances, this to me acts like what Pulp from Byredo acts like, but it doesn't smell like it. So there's a little bit of a rotting, fruity, floral touches in here, which is, I think, what creates like a polarizing reception of this. That's what it is. But also this rotting kind of floral fruitiness also has a funk, an animalic quality. So this is going to be very polarizing. It's my favorite. It's the strongest for me. It's the juiciest. There's an astringency about it. But there's definitely the idea of a very mature, strong scented flower that has fruity smells that's aging and decaying kind of. Anyway, that's a good one, but I think this is quite a polarizing fragrance. But it's my favorite of the three. And stay tuned for a video I did reviewing those three fragrances, but including Jade Amore. But I also have videos shot with each of the perfumers of the new Thomas DeMonaco fragrances on location. So you're going to enjoy hearing from the actual perfumers who created those fragrances. But the next fragrance, going to the house of GUERLAIN, and this was a limited edition, but I left it here. I decided to leave it. It's a Habit Rouge Spirit at number 41. Comes a year after the original Habit Rouge Parfum. This is a slightly different, but it's slightly the same. I actually ranked it lower than I normally would, but the Parfum I ranked much higher, although I didn't do a video like this for last year's offerings. So it's basically similar to the original. It's taking the Habit Rouge DNA to a gourmand direction with a little bit of an amplification in the boozy side with this Habit Rouge Spirit. I think it's a collaboration with was it Hennessy? Guerlain's owned by LVMH, and Hennessy is also owned by LVMH. So I think they did a collaboration. So it's a limited edition. If you can't get this one, get the original Parfum. I think the Parfum of Habit Rouge is so awesome, so delicious, really wonderful. This is also really, really good, but it might be a repeat if you already have the Parfum. But if you know how to pick out nuances, you will notice that there are differences here as well. So that is Habit Rouge Spirit in Parfum concentration. Up next, I think this is one of the best banana bread fragrances. Going to the house of THOO, this is L'Explicit at number 40, which we featured this in a mystery box. And man, it smells like a banana cake. It's so delicious. I mentioned in a video recently that I love eating banana cake with coffee. Sometimes I get it from the coffee shop. And this just reminds me of it. It's got those warm spices that they add to it. It's got that doughiness. And of course, the banana, how it's meshed and melded with the dough and the spices and the flour and all that turned into a banana bread. So yummy. This also gives me a little bit of the idea of steam, like I mentioned in another video, that you had just taken the banana bread out, sliced it, and kind of cooled off, but there's a little bit of steam left because the fragrance itself is warm, but has a coolness about it. But I do get a little bit of that steam effect in here as well. But so cozy, so comforting. One of the best from this house, and I love it. It smells really great. Banana fragrances, I wouldn't think it would smell this good. And the fact that I love banana bread, this is reminding me of banana bread. It's delicious. Let me know if you guys want a banana-focused video. There's not that many out there, but I'll see what I can put together. But in the meantime, check out L'Explicit from the house of THOO. That is at number 40. Then we're going to the house of Jean Paul Gaultier's Elixir, Le Male Elixir Absolu. Yeah, there's some discounts on this, so get them now. But I'll tag them with the discounts. But I put off ordering this for a long time until I realized that there are differences. Yes, if you can pick out nuances between, some fragrances that might be very similar to another one, then skip them. But to me, there's differences here with this one. I feel like there's tobacco-ish touches with this one in comparison to the previous one. It's resinous for sure. It's ambery. It's vanillic. It's also kind of aromatic because we've got like mint and lavender that is the focus note in the Le Male collection. But it's a really super concentrated one, and it's garnered me compliments as well because I do tend to overspray and leave a major cloud. And this is a big fragrance for a designer. It's Elixir Absolu, so it's a Parfum concentration and super intoxicating for a designer. Probably one of the strongest men's fragrances on the market now. And I've got one more men's fragrance coming up, and I've ranked it higher than this. It's a bit more classier than this. This is a bit more young and playful. But this is one of the strongest I've noticed for a men's designer fragrance. So this is Le Male Absolute, Elixir Absolute from the house of Jean Paul Gaultier, and that is at number 39. And then we've got a fragrance from the house of Aesop. It's Honor. Honor by Aesop. Let me know if you're a fan of Aesop fragrances. Eventually, I'm going to air my deep dive video of the house. I better, before they launch another fragrance. The last two fragrances of the house are created by Celine Burrell. And between Above Us Steora, which is the other one, and this, I really do enjoy this one. It's super sexy, and it has the DNA of the brand. So I think what's cool about the brand is that you can smell their DNA, and in one from another, they do have that kind of cohesion. But then sometimes if it's too much like that, then everything starts smelling the same, and you're like, isn't there something different they can do? They do focus on citruses, spices, aromatics, woods, and like freshness and zing around all of those notes. They do that, but I mean, it's a classy offering. It's super sexy, leaning masculine, a bit on the pricier side, but I think really nicely done. So that is number 38, and it's Aesop's Honor, A-U-R-N-E-R. And this is Gucci Guilty Absolute de Parfum Pour Homme. This was my number one in the men's ranked list. If you caught that, you would know. Yeah, this is not as intense as the Jean Paul Gaultier, and both of them are done by the same perfumer. For me, this is a bit more reserved in comparison to the Le Male, and so because of that, I find it to be a bit more classy. Like, most of the time, a gentleman does not want to get attention. Maybe they want to, smell great. But so this is the kind of fragrance, even though it's an Elixir Absolute, it's super concentrated. It has great longevity. Don't have to worry about that. For me, it doesn't have the great projection that the Jean Paul Gaultier has. But there are two different kinds of fragrances, even though done by the same perfumer. For me, it also reminds me of Jean Paul Gaultier fragrances. And also Reflection Man. So Jean Paul Gaultier fragrances like Le Male and Fleur de Male combined. This is also a bit like Reflection Man, but it's super powdery and also resinous and ambery. So it's super concentrated, but again, not like really loud, but really wonderfully done, I think. It's classy and I love it. There's a bitterness about it, which I like. It's different and it doesn't smell like the Jean Paul Gaultier. And as I said, the Jean Paul Gaultier is a lot more younger smelling, which is, there's no problem with that. I like fragrances. As long as I like the smell, I will talk about it. Some of them do come off young, and that one does, but I like the way it smells, so I'll talk about it. But this one definitely has a bit more of a mature quality about it. So that is Gucci Guilty Absolute de Parfum Pour Homme. It's a mouthful. So this is a surprise coming from a brand I don't know much about. And this is a fragrance. It's a Korean house called La Persona. It's Whispering Kiss. You guys familiar with this? Look at that bottle. So really wonderful, warm, spicy offering that has a familiarity about it, which is what I like about it. It's warm and vanillic and super spicy and creamy as well. But there's something fruity in there that's contrasting and creating a freshness. But it's a super addicting smell. It's not quite a gourmand, but it's acting like a little bit like a gourmand, but I wouldn't say this is sugary, sweet, and caking, caramelly. But it's a really intoxicating smell and definitely deserves to be on the list. If you guys haven't tried it, please do. It's a really, really awesome fragrance. But it's warm, it's sticky, kind of sweet and ambery, but also kind of fruity and spicy at the same time, giving me tobacco vibes as well. Really lovely fragrance. La Persona. This is Whispering Kiss. Let me know if you guys have heard about it. This next one is also really awesome. I definitely wanted to feature it. It might be a limited edition. I cannot figure it out. But this is just leather from Memo Paris. So Memo Paris has African leather and a bunch of other, country leathers. This is just leather. And I was told that this is a layering tool at Selfridges where I bought it from. It's a bit animalic, and the leather that's in all of those leather fragrances, like African leather and maybe Moroccan leather, maybe Italian leather, that leather is just this here, but those have those additional top notes that eventually goes to that leather. But here you have it just on its own. It's a bit animalic. It's definitely a bit dirty, and for sure leather is prominent here, but it's all it is. Amber around the leather and woods too. But to me, it seems more like a base note. There's not much freshness happening. So I think it makes sense that it was kind of a layering tool just to boost up your leather fragrances. But on its own, it's super sexy, I think. A really wonderful leather. If you've ever wanted leather on its own from Memo Paris, try and seek this one out. Anyway, that's leather from Memo Paris. That is at number 35. Number 34, we're going to the house of Jill Sander. I had a difficult time which one I was going to put here. I put Coffea in this nipple bottle. So these I discovered, well, yeah, in September I was in Munich and I bought one bottle called Leaf at the Munich Jill Sander store. Later, Bloomingdale's brought this collection. In fact, when I was in New York City in November, I saw them at the Bloomingdale's in New York City. And of course, you can get them online. There's a lot of great discovery sets as well, just for you to check them out. And for me, I fell in love with the entire, like 3 of them I really, really loved. This one, Leaf, which I bought first, and there's one more. I believe it's Miel, which is the honey. Here we've got Coffee. And it's a bit irisy, it's powdery, and it's ground coffee and a little bit of drip coffee. No milkiness here. Just a kind of a powdery, coffee-focused fragrance that's super delicious. So if you like the idea of coffee combined with powdery, irisy notes, definitely like gourmand light or gourmand adjacent, I should say. This is definitely one for you to try. And I love the bottles and the presentation. So we had 2 luxury houses launch their own, private collections this year. And Balenciaga hadn't launched any fragrances for a long time. Jill Sander also kind of like, they fell, behind, and now they both launched their exclusives. And I really love this. And Jill Sander is under Coty, whereas Balenciaga was under Kering. Now they're going to be under L'Oreal. But if you haven't checked out the Jill Sander luxury collection, please do. They're really great. Up next, going to the house of Mugler. I am featuring this only women's fragrance on this list because I absolutely love it. And I don't care. I wear this. It smells great. I've had so many samples that I've worn. It's super delicious. This is Angel Stellar. If you have been a fan of the original and you love like gourmand fragrances, in fact, Angel from 1992 is the very first gourmand, but to me, Angel as a gourmand compared to what gourmands are now are night and day different. This is actually kind of focusing on the original 1992 version of Angel, but much more modernized with an overdose of this creamy kind of doughy, nutty consistency. So there's pistachio here. And that pistachio is so super delicious. In fact, this kind of reminds me of a discontinued fragrance called Crème de Pistache from, what's the brand name? Tell me if you know. It was a popular, what's the name of the, it's a makeup brand, mostly skincare for the ladies. And they had this so yummy fragrance called Crème de Pistache. And this reminds me of it, but more in a Mugler kind of a way. It also kind of reminds me a little bit of pistachio from the House of Diaz and Durga, but different. This is much more gourmand, whereas that's much more patchouli. But they did such a great job on this one, even better than the men's version. Okay, the brand I was thinking about is called Laura Mercier. They had a fragrance called Crème de Pistache, and this reminds me of it. But totally worth having in your collection. Mugler's Angel Stellar, so awesome. Check it out if you don't know it. I recommend it, especially if you love pistachios and you love Mugler Angel. But moving on to number 32, it's Fleur's Cherry Stem. Yeah, my favorite cherry fragrance most recently. I really like it. And there is actually a deep dive video on cherry fragrances, guys. If you want to go catch that and learn more about cherry fragrances, there is one. What I like about this one is it's super shiny and glossy, and the brand says lacquered, but also tart and juicy. There's a darkness about it, and it's not necessarily kind of girly. There's a matureness about it. It's got a maturity about it. So it's got I think it leans a bit masculine, but there's definitely hard candy vibes. But what I like about it is that it has the like earthy patchouli in the base that gives it a bit more of a sexy vibe. So definitely my favorite cherry, and also my favorite Fleur fragrance as of late. I like Tangerine Boy from the brand, and now I like this one quite a bit. Definitely worth wearing. And I had a 10 ml bottle of it that I wore all over Europe for a while. The only negativity about that fragrance, and also a lot of the Fleur fragrances, they're not super loud with projection and sillage because it's a mass market fragrance. So maybe they'll make an extrait de parfum that will scream a little louder, but just pile on a little bit more. So that's Cherry Stem at number 32. At number 31, going to Spaterno with Barbicaja. This is a new house that's perfumer behind all the fragrances is Christopher Sheldrake of Serge Lutens fragrances. So if you haven't heard about the house and you are a fan of Serge Lutens and Christopher Sheldrake, go catch my video I did with the brand and also Christopher Sheldrake. The brand owner and Christopher are both there. The brand owner is connected to Francois Coty. And so it's the brand's real last name is Spaterno. I think there was a name change before Coty became Coty, Francois Coty. So this is a connected, and I think it's the granddaughter that launched this brand. But what's Barbicaja about? Super green, stemmy, floral, luscious, succulent spring fragrance. There is, the more I smell this, there's a slight candied thing that happens behind, way in the back, slight sweet candied thing. But for me, it's like if you've taken a hyacinth at the grocery store at the start, like just the few days before spring, it gives me like major hyacinth vibes, because hyacinth to me smells super green, and when you smell the hyacinth flower, you get the smell of the greens that the hyacinth flower is sitting on as well. And this gives me those vibes. It's so awesome. Such a great smell. And to me, it smells like spring. And spring is, I know we're just in winter now, but spring is going to be here soon. And I can actually smell that and just think, okay, this is how spring is going to smell. So that is Barbicaja from the house of Spaterno. Next is Room 1015's Electric Wood Extrait de Parfum. Are you a fan of this one? This is a redo of the original Electric Wood that was discontinued. The brand discontinued the original one, which I thought was a bit too boring. And they relaunched it slightly gourmand leaning. Slightly. It's not a gourmand. So it has like slight sweet vanillic notes and also a little cacao-like notes all over woods. And it's super concentrated. It's an extrait de parfum and really smells lovely when you wear it. And what I like about it is the cacao that's in here, like a chocolatey cacao with the vanilla, gives you a slight bit of butterscotchy effect. So good. It's so yummy smelling that I can almost eat it up. Anyway, that's Room 1015's Electric Wood Extrait de Parfum. Let me know if you're familiar with that. Up next, we've got a fragrance from the house of Soradora. It's Lubu. So I think this one might be a bit polarizing. I think, I don't know why it would be. It's created by Margot Lepage-Guerin. It's an amber. It's spicy. It's smoky. Resinous. It's major amber. Maybe there's some minerally metallic touches in there. Maybe slight nuttiness as well. But It's super concentrated. It's not Janny. So the brand's known for Janny, which is the same perfumer did. It's not gourmand. It's more of an amber. It's very resinous. It's balsamic. It's smoky and also spicy. And of course, I'm getting like minerally touches with it as well. But really, I love the way it smells. So that is BLEU from Soradora. Up next, go into the house of Angelo's Creations Olfactives. It's E-LECTRON. So I spoke about this. I've spoken about all of these fragrances in 3 different videos. If you didn't catch them, please go catch them. This is the latest release from Angelo's Creations Olfactives. Now, the previous fragrance that was in our mystery box, Narcissus, very polarizing, I think. Very daring fragrance. It's a bit animalic. So that didn't make the top 50. Or 52 in this case. But this one did, because it smells really, really great. First of all, it does remind me of Goutal's Sable, or the same people behind Sable started Voyage Imaginaire and did a fragrance called L'Eau d'Immortelle. It does remind me of that because there's a lot of Immortelle here, but this is super ambery, spicy. You know, it's got a lot of spices, and also the Immortelle is very, very key here. It provides its own unique characteristic. So, got a very autumnal vibe. So if you like the idea of an autumn amber, super spicy and resinous, and a slight bit gourmand, because there's cacao featured here, you might want to check that out. So that is E-LECTRON from the house of Angelo's Creations Olfactives. Let me know if you're familiar with the house. Add a comment below. Speaking of amber, we've got a lot of ambers here. We've got Fiery Amber from Costume National. Yeah, I'm only hoping that this brand makes another debut here in the States. I absolutely love this fragrance. And it's not super daring, but it's really great quality amber to wear. Resinous, balsamic, spicy, vanillic, but not daring at all. Like the previous fragrance was an amber as well. This one has like, it's mass appealing, but I personally don't think ambers are mass appealing styles of fragrances. But when you compare the two, this one comes off. Like even BLEU from Soradora, I don't consider it mass appealing because it's smoky, minerally, all those characteristics going for it. This one seems to be more like something like how popular Grand Soir has become. So if you like that, check that out. Very resinous, spicy, warm, fiery. In this case, Fiery Amber from Costume National. And then at number 26, we're going to the house of D'Annam. It's Japanese whiskey. As I was mentioning in the previous video, talking about the 100 different indie niche offerings, this fragrance smells literally like you've taken Japanese whiskey and amplified the smell, and it smells just like it. I didn't get into Japanese whiskey in general because I never really drank whiskey before. Not until I went to Japan and I started drinking Japanese whiskey. And the pear-like nuances are captured here so much. So much. It's like, it's so authentic smelling that only if you've had plenty of Japanese whiskey, you would know what I'm talking about. But it really, like, realistic. Sometimes when you're smelling boozy fragrances, the booziness comes off a bit fake, not like the real smell. Like when I put my nose on cognac, it doesn't really smell like, Enigma from ROUGE and any other boozy fragrances. So kind of like that. This one literally reminds me of the actual booze, the Japanese whiskey. And that's what's so cool about it. And the fact that you get those pear nuances, because I do get pear from sipping on Japanese whiskey, which is crazy. I do. And there's like pear-like qualities here. To me, it also reminds me of grappa. Grappa is not something I enjoy. It's so strong. But what I like about the Japanese whiskey, it's so smooth. Anyway, Japanese whiskey from D'Annam. So good at number 26. All right. We've got the top 25. Going to the house of eccentric molecules, it's molecule 1 plus cistus. Being a big fan of eccentric molecules, this is an awesome fragrance. So we have a lot of amber in this collection of fragrances in today's video. So this can be something you can use in a lot of these amber fragrances. Like, I think to give it more of a labdanum, cistus labdanum intensity, I can layer it with fiery amber. I could layer it with, I'm thinking of other ambers that I could layer it with, because some of them do seem complex. Maybe I think the MAITRE Perfume Gantier, Ambre Capucine. The other ones seem a bit too complex. They kind of interfere. So I think I could layer it with those two for sure. So you would give it a ISOE Super Cedarwood Sandalwood boost with cistus labdanum, and it's that sticky resin that they use to create the amber accord. So that's basically what this is. It also has a lot of like a smokiness, almost like incense, like church incense here. So it's a really, really great fragrance. And I like eccentric molecules for their minimalistic qualities. And of course, you can use them to wear individually on their own for their minimalistic qualities, or layer it with something to create a new fragrance. So that's a really awesome offering. That is eccentric molecules, molecule 1 plus cistus. And cistus basically is cistus labdanum. Up next, going to the house of Hellenist, it's BLEU. So they launched 2 fragrances this year. My favorite is still Le Bras de Morphe. That's awesome. I love that. Here, this is more of a watery, aquatic, ozonic fragrance. And the idea of bathing in a clean lake with a waterfall. And you got some smells of vegetation nearby. But basically, it's the water captured in perfume form. It's so good, so good. So realistic, so clean, minerally, maybe a bit salty, but watery for sure. Definitely watery. Really lovely fragrance. I can't get enough of the smell. The smell is so, so awesome. Let me know if you've tried this. This is BLEU. All right, at number 23, Maison Violet Honneur d'Apogée Extrait de Parfum. Yeah, I am ranking it here, even though to me, it's quite different when you first spray it, then eventually it starts reminding you of it, the original. And I love the original. It's one of my favorites. I spoke about it so much when I first started talking about the brand. Here, though, it's much more darker, not as airy and sweet like the original features the mimosa, which gives it that honeyed effect. This eventually comes much later, but here we've got like an amber woody, slightly Middle Eastern leaning kind of an experience. The fragrance is about tobacco and honey, but again, in the original, it's not honey they're using, it's the mimosa. And so you don't get that much here. Eventually it develops and to become like that. Then it's a mixture of the amber woods and the kind of tobacco-ish honey touches with the mimosa. It's good. I wore so much of it. I love it. I love the way it smells. It has great lingering power. It's an extrait de parfum, so but just keep in mind, if you're thinking it's going to smell like just a stronger version of the original, to me it doesn't. You can smell the original, but it's about a lot more than the original. So that's Maison Violet Honneur d'Apogée Extrait de Parfum in a cool looking purple bottle. That is at number 23. At number 22, this is Lacquerly. Yeah, this is so yum. So yum. If you are Swiss or have been to Switzerland and have eaten Lacquerly, you kind of know and have an idea of what this fragrance smells like. So it's a soft, spicy, kind of licoricey, anisey, doughy, toasty, salty, sweet, gourmand. Lovely. It's lovely the way it's done. And I can't get enough of it. It's my favorite in the collection. And I'm a gourmand lover, but this is, once again, it's not your traditional gourmand. It's not like super cakey, because you have those kind of toasty, kind of salty, almost like salted crackers combined with sweetness and spices, very holidays. Like you've got a lot of holiday vibes here. And the color of the fragrance, I mean the bottle, is the color like this is what you're smelling. So it's got an amber glow for sure. But just everything mixed together is done really superbly, really superbly. And I've had the lacquerly myself, so I kind of know the flavor translated into smell form. And they've done a great job with it. Super awesome. So that is Never and Again Lacquerly at number 22. And at number 21, we've got Orris Cocoon from Pesad. I'm glad to have this. It's so yummy. An iris lover here, and iris, the name is like appropriate, Orris Cocoon. So the iris in here is soft and buttery, and texturally a little bit like creamy, but you can actually get the buttery texture. The smell is also a bit like makeup powder. Doesn't smell like DHI or DHP or Dior Parfum or Dior Intense. Doesn't. But I think a lot of people just associate the smell of iris with something like Dior Intense or Dior Parfum. So some people might think that this is smelling like that. To me, it doesn't. It doesn't have that vanillic sweetness that DHP and DHI had or has. But this is super awesome. Love the iris here. And the more I smell amazing iris fragrances, the more I fall in love with this note. And they have the name appropriate. It's a very cocooning fragrance. Orris Cocoon from Pesad. Are you guys familiar with that Korean house? Let me know. Add a comment below. Then we've got Parfum d'Ucita's Tonka Latte. Yeah. She did an amazing gourmand. And also, it's delicious on its own. And I layer it with Vanilla Sex from Tom Ford. To me, they're kind of similar. Whereas this is more milky. The Tom Ford is not. It's more textural, like chopped up nougat. But the layering of the two together is super delicious. You know, both of them are about almonds in Tonka. And Vanilla Sex is also. But both of them also have vanilla. But the Tonka Latte has that milky effect that the Vanilla Sex doesn't. And so it amplifies, intensifies, it melts together really perfectly, and you get a combination of both. But to me, this on its own is also super delicious and really, really cozy, really, really comforting. And I love milky lactonic fragrances, so it makes sense that this is number one for the house now, because people really are comforted with these kind of fragrances, especially since the world's become very uncomfortable. So comforting gourmands are definitely needed these days. Anyway, Tonka Latte from d'Ucita. That is at number 20. Then we're going to the house of Sarah Baker. It's Velvet Vendetta. She did a vanilla-focused fragrance, but vanilla for adults. Not a young vanilla. It's more of a mature vanilla. This has got minerally notes. It's got smoky notes, gunpowdery notes, boozy notes. And it's got that Margot Lepage-Gorin mentions olive tapenade. So it's got that kind of an olivey thing happening here. So it's vanilla once again, but not your typical vanilla. It's not a gourmand to me. It's gourmand adjacent for sure. But really nicely done. I really love this perfumer's work. So I think I've got a few fragrances that she's created. So I admire her work and I click with it, and I do click with this one as well. So this is Velvet Vendetta from the house of Sarah Baker. Let me know if you're familiar with that. That is at number 19. We're going to the house of the different company. This is Love is Coming, chapter 2. For pulpy tomatoes and tomato leaves. Who's a fan of tomatoes? Do you like to eat them? Do you like to smell like them? I do. So I've mentioned this before. My dad used to grow tomatoes. Like sometimes they would just be a jungle of tomato bushes. And like at a certain time, you had to pick them because they were just ripe, just the right ripeness to pick and eat. And one time he grew so much that you couldn't get through. And it was like just the tiniest little tomatoes. And they were the most delicious. And this smells like that, like those tomatoes picked fresh off the vines, and that pulpy, like fruity, juicy kind of vegetable-y pulpiness, and sweet and tart together, and green. That's what this smells like. So it reminds me a little bit of L'Ombre dans l'eau from Diptyque, but with an overdose of the pulpiness of the tomato, like the fruitiness of the tomato and the greenness of the tomato leaves, but so yummy. I love the realistic smell of it. So Love is Coming Chapter 2 from the different company. That is at number 18. At number 17, it's Free Cocoa from Born to Stand Out. So this is Jerome de Marino, who also did the Electric Wood Extrait de Parfum from Room 1015. And sadly, this is a limited edition, or like an exclusive fragrance, not a limited edition. Although I'm not 100% sure. I hope it's not a limited edition. It's permanent. But really awesomely done gourmand from the house of Born to Stand Out. It's coconutty, it's sweet, it's a bit nutty, and milky, lactonic as well. Very comforting. Really nice work from the house. Absolute deliciousness. I've got 2 fragrances from the house in this video. I wanted to make sure I don't do more than 2 fragrances per brand. And there's not a lot of brands that have 2, only a few. But I love, well, the amount of fragrances that Born to Stand Out launches is a lot. And you know, sometimes brands launch way too many fragrances, so I wanted to make sure I have 2 from this brand. But if you haven't gotten your nose on Free Cocoa, please do. It's super delicious and an awesome color bottle here from, well, it's the Selfridges color, I think. That's what this is. So that is at number 17. Then we've got Dries Van Noten's Havana Gold. I think Dries Van Noten bottles are some of the most beautiful. And this fragrance is also super awesome. I dropped this bottle, though, unfortunately, recently. On the last video I featured it in. So I gotta be careful. Thankfully, it didn't break. So this is like a really super sticky tobacco fragrance, but it's tobacco leafy, not smoky. But very ambered, also spicy. I think there's licorice anise in here. You can totally tell that smell. I love that smell. But it acts very resinous. There's like resinous texture about it. Like there's resins. It's very, very ambery. And I think the smell is like this color. Those 2 colors. Anyway, that is Dries Van Noten's Havana Gold. Super awesome line. I noticed that Lucky Scent's now carrying Dries Van Noten. Anyway, next up, go into the house of, let's see, L'Entreprise. This is Semence Douce. Yeah, this might be a bit polarizing. I think this brand is a bit polarizing. Like the way the fragrances are created are, like if you're familiar with Bertrand Duchaufour's creations, but more of his eclectic creations, these are more like that rather than his most mass market, creations. This one is specifically, it's super powdery and it's tulips. So it's tulip, to me it smells more like tulip stems in like a garden or in a florist shop. Because sometimes when you walk into a florist shop, especially in France, because there's no florist shops here, you can smell the wooden interior and then all the plants that are in there. There's that distinct kind of a green smell. They've got it here, but they've mixed in almond milk in this. So it's kind of milky, powdery, and green at the same time. But I love it. And the story is also really, really great. So that is Semence Douce from L'Entreprise. Then we're going to the house of Tom Ford. It's Black Orchid Reserve at number 14. Yes, I'm featuring one Tom Ford here. It's not number 1, but it's number 14. It's the best launch of Tom Ford's this year. And they had, well, I got my hands on 4. I think FF Parfum is quite good, but I didn't buy it. I got a great deal with this one, so I bought it. And it's basically taking the original Black Orchid, it's Black Orchid Reserve, that's what this is called, into a really luxurious, highly concentrated direction. It smells really, really awesome and really thick and dense and masterfully created. I can't remember who did the original Black Orchid. I'm drawing a blank now, but I'm assuming this is the same person. It's earthy, it's spicy, it's a bit floral, but for sure it's Black Orchid, just like super duper luxurious. Lovely stuff. That is Black Orchid Reserve at number 14. And then number 13 is Ambre Antique from not L'Entropiste. This is Enfant Coty. I was tossing up the idea of not featuring this on the list, but because I have the strange feeling they'll bring it back. I mean, why would they launch a fragrance and sell out and not bring it back? I mean, they went through all the trouble. Now they have the juice. So they're going to have to bring this back. So I'm hoping they would bring this back. It's an amber, and exactly like the name says, Ambre Antique. It's a redo of Coty's original Amber Antique or Ambre Antique. But when you smell this, it's going to be very polarizing. It's quite vintage smelling. So I'm going to spray it, but I'm going to be very careful. This is probably the last time I'm going to spray this, because if it doesn't come back, then I have a bottle of this. But this is a limited edition bottle. I think it'll come back in one of its regular bottles. So basically, it's kind of like a vintage style amber, super resinous, but there is definitely something funky in here. Definitely animalic, sweaty, leathery, giving me like the vibe of Jean Desprez, Bal à Versailles, maybe Salome by Papillon Perfumery, some of those kind of things. So it's got this funk in here, which I quite like. It's not overwhelming, but I think a very sensitive nose might think it's too much animalic. When I did my video, I saw the comments and some people didn't care for this. If you're new at doing fragrances, you might think this is way too much, but it's so good. So good. Definitely deserves to be on the list, and I hope they bring it back. I really hope. I hope they bring back this one in the regular lineup and they launch more of their classic fragrances and put them into the Enfant Coty line. Anyway, that is Ambre Antique from Enfant Coty. That's at number 13. Number 12, it's Nichané's Meant to Be Seen. Yep, Iris once again. It's this actually has great longevity. I pick up my jacket and I can still smell it on there, which is great. I love that about it. But there's definitely something cool and crisp about it. It's Iris in cold weather, kind of. Once again, it has that grayness. It's not as, well, there's a creamy smoothness about it, but I'm not picking up the texture of the iris itself. It's just the way the fragrance is constructed, but it's really lovely. I think it's once again, the Dior Homme Intense thing comes up. It doesn't smell like it to me whatsoever. Not at all. Not Dior Homme Intense, not Dior Homme Parfum. There's just no sweetness here. It's mostly the iris and the powdery effect and musky touches that are in here. But sure, some noses might think, oh, it's got iris. Oh, it's just like Dior Homme Intense. This doesn't smell like Dior Homme Intense to me. But they both feature iris. But this is its own unique thing. But I think the thing that it reminds me more of are fragrances like Fleur de Peau and things like that. But really lovely. Totally different than what Nichané does. Meant to Be Seen from Nichané. That is at 12. Then going to the house of LFSGQUESTIONS. This is Ambre K, or it's Ambre K. It's a French brand, but they're using amber. Some French brands go with Ambre K, or Ambre. So I'm always forgetting. So I think this has become one of my favorites from this house. Poème de Sagano was a favorite for a long time. Now it's this. What I like about it is it's the typical style of Sonia Constant's work. So intensified with a lot of amber, but it's not a thick, heavy, dense amber. It's super syrupy, also musky and powdery. There is that dusting of chocolate cacao in here as well. And the chocolate cacao adds a super sexy layer to the mix. But overall, really, really great work. Super unique. Not anything like any of the ambers that I've spoken about today, but great work from her. And again, definitely became my number 1 offering from the house. Let me know if you guys have discovered LFSGQUESTIONS. Ambre K, Amber K, Amber. All right, next going to the house of GUERLAIN once again. We've got Shalimar L'Essence. So I had my hands also on Vetiver Fauve. I didn't care for Vetiver Fauve. This, on the other hand, is super delicious. This, on the other hand, is the latest Millésime in my book, but it's not called Millésime. It's just called Shalimar L'Essence. And it's basically taking the original Shalimar and very modernizing it. You have the hint of the original DNA in here, but it's super, super modernized. But it's a great amber vanilla fragrance. Super cozy. Really, really cozy, comforting. I love that. I think it totally deserves the number 10 spot. Remember, I wasn't too excited when I did my video. It's really grown on me, and I love it. The more I play around with Shalimar, the more I end up loving the entire collection. One of the best fragrances ever created, for sure. Not this, the original, but then we've got this. This is Shalimar L'Essence from the house of GUERLAIN. Next, going to the house of, this is at number 9, Matière Première Vanilla Powder Extrait. Yes, it's an extrait de parfum, super concentrated. And I do like this, you know, this series now, the vanilla powder. And here with the extract, it's a lot more ambery, a lot denser. And even though I always felt like the original was super dense, I think it was super base heavy. And I think that's why my nose couldn't tolerate it. I didn't care for it at that time. It has so grown on me, and I like it here. It's darker, it's more resinous and ambery. It's also slightly smoky, but super long-lasting. And I love super long-lasting fragrances. I like to wake up in the morning and grab my previous day's clothes and put them in the laundry or something and pick up the smell of the fragrance on it as I'm moving it around. One of my favorite things. And I remember first experiencing that in the 90s because they were pretty potent at that time. But this happens with this fragrance. So that is a Matière Première Vanilla Powder Extrait de Parfum. So I did mention that there's similarities between NOVAE Vanilla and Vanilla Powder. This is a lot more harsher. The NOVAE Vanilla is definitely a lot more elegant. So depends on which direction you would go. Try that. So that is at number 9. And then we've got Goldfield & Banks Tales of Amber. Oh God, a really great one. Really, really awesome one from this house. Definitely, I have to do a ranking of this house. I'll come back and let you know. But this, to me, what I like about it is the saltiness in the amber. It's ambergris and resinous notes. And ambergris has a saltiness, a dirtiness. It's different than, you know, amber created from resins and balsams and vanilla. But you have the best of both worlds here. So there's a salty, minerally quality here. from the ambergris. And then also there's the traditional ambery touches with like, you know, resins and things like that. So it's super spicy and a very unique take on an amber. And I like that because I experience ambers that are always smelling similar. Like, as far as originality goes, I've smelled fragrances like Fiery Amber, but it's done in a really nice way. I had never smelled anything like Tales of Amber. It's very unique. So that deserves a number 8 spot because it's a really, really great work with that amber. All right, next going to the house of Nuit Nomade. It's Chemin de Monde. This is currently in our latest Scent Club kit. If you haven't gotten that, please do. I have it linked. And I've got all of these fragrances as much as I can linked here. And they should pop up as I'm talking about it. They're all time-stamped. Okay, so this is a very unique fragrance for a gourmand. First of all, it's very bitter almondy like marzipan. There's definitely wheat, like the smell of dusty, dry wheat. So it's a bit granular and like baked goods kind of, but before it's baked, obviously, because it's got that kind of a smell. But the combination of all the notes and the vanilla together, super, super awesome. Once again, if you are looking for something truly unique as a gourmand, so this gourmand doesn't act like you're, you know, super cakey, sugary, sweet. It's like the bitterness of the almonds are very, very prominent here. So it's quite nutty, and also the wheat is like literally dry and dusty, and how wheat smells. Mix that with vanilla, you have a very original gourmand. So yum. So that is Chemin de Monde from the house of Nuit Nomade. That is at number, let's see, number 7. Don't forget that's in our latest Scent Club kit. And then we've got Dior's Bois d'Argent in the Esprit de Parfum collection. Yeah, I featured this here because it's really, really great. If you are at all a fan of the original and you think it's too light and airy, check this one out. So I think some people don't like this because it's gotten too concentrated. So I think some people prefer the original. But what I like about it is super honeyed. Lots of honey here. And it's nicely contrasted with like smoky incense. And then there's also resins here. So it's known for myrrh. But don't forget the iris. It's super powdery. Originally created by Annick Menardo. And she did an amazing job on it. It's a masterpiece, but I always thought it was just too airy and ethereal. But here, like I said, this is just super concentrated. It's quite ambery and resinous, smoky and sweet at the same time. Really masterful work. So that's Bois d'Argent from the house of Dior in the Esprit de Parfum collection. Super awesome fragrance. Next, going to the house of Jeroboam. It's Kunamo. Yes, it's so good. I love this. I'm not the biggest fan of too much fruity and also pear, but the fruitiness of the pear works so wonderfully here. So wonderfully. And it's nicely contrasted with so many different musks. What I like about the pear here is super juicy and very drippy. Like imagine biting into a pear that's ripe. So much juice is collected in it and it's behind the skin, in the flesh. And you bite into it and it just goes down your arm into your sleeves. That's what you get. That juiciness is here with the pear. But all of those musks, it's powdery. It's so super sexy. I love it. Really, really awesome. I think the Perfumer did a great job on this. And can become my favorite of the line. Kunamo. So good. If you haven't tried it, please do. That is at number 5. Then Born to Stand Out's Oud Candy. Oh man, it's good. It's so good. And it's so strong. So long lasting. This one on the clothes, you'll smell it for days. So it's a candy effect. Like there's sugary notes, there's caramelly notes, candy notes, and of course it's oudi notes, powdery notes. In fact, there might even be some nutty notes in here. But, oh my God, it's so good. The best, for me, it's the best in the red bottles. Once again, created by Margot Lepage-Goran. I love this, and it loves me because it smells good on me. It has great projection. It's got super massive longevity. I love that fragrance. So it deserves number 3. I'm sorry, number 4. Top 3, guys. Top 3. Number 3 is quintessentially Amber from the house of Sultan Pasha Perfumes. As soon as I smelled this in Paris, which I have a video on the channel with me smelling it for the first time, tune in and you can catch that, I knew it was a winner. And what I love about this, the scent memories that come along with it. It's a lot of sandalwood, and I think it's the Mysore variety with ambery notes. It's a nice fusion of them. To me, it's amber woody, but not in the kind of amber woody that's in a lot of fragrances these days that has that kind of synthetic amber woody smell. This is a lot of amber, as in resins and balsams, maybe even some vanilla with sandalwoody note. But long-lasting, super concentrated, and very reminiscent of the very first time I put my nose on Samsara from GUERLAIN. It reminds me of that. I don't know why. I wish I can get myself a bottle of Samsara in the red bottle, which I gave to my mom around 91. I need to revisit the smell. But so good. I think Sultan Pasha might be GUERLAIN inspired. I don't know. But I love that it reminds me of that fragrance. And I love that it gives me scent memories. That's what's good about it. So that is at number 3. Then at number 2, this grew on me so much it had to have the number 2 spot. Decision from Amouage. I mean, this has become one of the best fragrances I put my nose on from Amouage. I love the way it smells. I love it. It's giving me frosted pine tree vibes with like a campfire nearby, snow-covered pine trees, slight creamy sweetness under that somehow. Oh, it's good. Really good. It's also quite masculine leaning. It does remind me of Christmas a little bit, which I like. It gives me the idea of something like Fianai, but not smelling like it, just the idea of it. Because that also has pine. I think it has pine needles. This is very piney to me. And it's like a snow-covered Christmas tree with sweet things dripped all over it. Oh man, it's good. It might even be my favorite Quantum Biche creation now. Decision is to die for, I think, at number 2. And my number 1 favorite of the year is Trudon's 45 Degrees. Oh God, it's so good. So good. It's also very long lasting, and I have a sweater I wear at night at home to keep me warm, and I sprayed it on there. Every night I put that back on. It smells like Trudon 45 Degrees. So I don't know what it is about this fragrance that's so good. It's just super delicious, vanillic, it's powdery. I've mentioned also it kind of, I don't know, something in there, in the formula, there's a slight reminder of something like Guidance from Amouage, or maybe Guidance from Amouage, Empatia from BDK. So is it a perfumer from Gévaudan who created this? I don't know, but I think it is. Because it doesn't smell like it, it reminds me of it. But it's all about the vanilla with the honey. It's very honeyed and sweet. But I wouldn't say this is super tooth-rottingly sweet. It's sweet, though. But I absolutely love it. Like, I could wear that over and over and over again. That's definitely a number 1 fragrance. And this is definitely a number 2 fragrance. And this is definitely a number 3 fragrance. So there you have it. Ranked list of 2025 releases. And there's 52 offerings here. So let me know if you've gotten your nose on these. Let me know if you're looking forward to getting your nose on them. And if you have gotten your nose on them, what are your thoughts? Did you like them? Did you hate them? Do add a comment below. Guys, also, don't forget to subscribe to my new shorts channel that I should be starting to add content to within the next 2 to 3 weeks. I've decided to no longer do shorts videos on this channel. And anytime I do shorts videos on the other channel, I will link back to this channel and also air some of those shorts videos on TikTok, I think. But I think I was doing a lot of shorts videos from October and before, advised by my YouTube manager, and I think they gave me the wrong information. I think shorts causes problems with the algorithm. So I haven't posted any shorts here since November, and I think I kind of got the channel back on track a little bit. But yeah, the shorts channel will be separate. I will add, content either cut out from videos like this or make specific content just for shorts, and I will link back to this channel. But I know some of you really love these long videos. I mean, you can come back to this channel and just watch more videos like this, or if you prefer them really super short, 30 seconds to 3 minutes, then you can go and watch them over on the shorts channel. But thanks so much for watching today's video, guys. I appreciate you tuning in. If you have any questions or comments, list below. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. Click that bell icon also so you'll get reminders for future videos. And please, please, please give a thumbs up for this video so it helps with that algorithm and it'll get the video out further. See you guys later. Bye-bye.